We're live. Hello.
Hey, how are you,
Doing?
Thomas?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Speak in your mic.
Oh man. I
Okay.
feel like you always like thrust things into my mouth.
No, I do not do that. Hold on, Thomas. Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Thomas, as you have alluded to
Right.
yourself.
Right.
My last name is Puttan Madam.
Okay.
So I think that's who I am.
Okay. Ask me who I am.
Who are you, Rupam?
I'm Rupam Singh. And
But who is Rupam Singh?
hold on, let me see. You. This is not how it was supposed to go. I was supposed to. I'm Rupam Singh, and we are the Dopest Generation.
Oh, I guess we have some practicing to do.
Yes,
then.
exactly.
Let's
But
do that again.
let's leave it.
Let's not.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a podcast called The Dopest Generation that we have decided to start. Finally, after months of procrastination, it's happening. We are recording this live from Toronto, Ontario, on a day that is hotter than Satan's ass.
It is fucking hot.
It's fucking insane.
Can I just point out to the audience that I'm wearing pants very reluctantly?
This podcast would not have happened if Thomas had not agreed to some conditions that I had. Because we record in my room, and this motherfucker did not want to wear pants. And I was like, that's not happening.
But this isn't like some sort of diva request where I'm asking only for blue M&Ms. All I'm saying is that on the hottest day of the year,
It's a bit
I
diva.
don't want to wear pants.
It's a bit diva. I would say it's a bit diva to say, oh, you know what? I don't want to wear clothes
Listen,
in
man.
your room where
One day-
only the ladies are allowed to not wear clothes. And also, I should add, ladies that I have a certain attitude towards.
That's just wrong, man. It's just like
I had to clarify.
you have your auntie over and you're like, I'm sorry,
That's
auntie."
why I had to put that asterisk.
This is like, take off that salwar
Oh,
kameez.
shit. Shut up.
This
That's
is a
too
no
much.
clothes zone, auntie.
No, stop, please. Okay. Yes, it's really hot. But we're doing this because we've always wanted to do this. And again, we're called the Dopest Generation. If you can't guess for yourself, that's a play on the Greatest Generation. Sure, they were great, but you know what they were not, Thomas?
Dope.
Exactly. Thank you. See how I set it up? I
This-
set it up, y'all.
This is the kind of chemistry.
Exactly. I set it up. You hit him out of the
Out
park.
of the park.
Exactly. All
Only
right.
those softballs.
Yeah. Okay. No, but we wanted to do this for a long time. I can of course speak about why I wanted to do this, but why don't you tell me why you wanted to do this, Thomas?
You know, like that. It is a good question.
Mhm.
I guess I always just wanted to do it because it seemed like something cool to do. It's, I mean, we're so kind of stuck in our own like 9 to 5 shit that sometimes it's just good to like kind of break out. But then the more I kind of like start thinking about like why I really wanted to do it is I feel like everybody needs to kind of have a voice. And the more I listen to people that, well, at least I even like see people like on TV or on YouTube that look like me, I was like, fuck, I feel like people also need to hear from people like me,
Right.
kind of a thing. And I'm just saying it in a way that representation kind of matters. We have so many like podcasts and like thought pieces.
A lot of whites
and
out there.
Yes, it's a lot of whites. That's basically what I was getting
Right.
at. I was trying to be subtle about it.
I don't
and
like.
then you
I don't
just
like
got
subtlety.
right through
I
it.
do not
You
like
just
subtlety.
like,
That's
I don't like subtlety.
exactly.
I don't
I
like
was like,
the
why are you
whites."
not saying that there are whites out there? Too many of them. No, I think that's kind of what it is. But I also think, and I think you would agree, that we have. I mean, it's part of the name. We are dope, and we have very cool opinions every now and then. And I think we're kind of open-minded. And I think, to me, I thought that this would be an interesting project because I just think that we have fascinating conversations, and why keep it to ourselves?
Yeah.
Let's bless the world with this shit. You know what I mean?
I try and be a little humble about it.
Right. I didn't. Again,
Yeah,
I told
you
you,
not
like
so much.
subtlety and shit. Not my
Again,
strongest.
maybe
suit.
this is part of the chemistry.
Right. Exactly. You be the.
The Thelma to your Louise.
Sure.
I don't know.
That was a
which,
nice reference.
Which one was the humble one?
I can't
I
recall.
don't even
either.
know. I feel like we try to say people need to hear about us, and
Yeah.
then we use the widest
Yeah.
references ever.
Metaphors, similes. You got all them shits. Yeah, no. We're not gonna try and make this too, dry. We want it to be, laughter, jokes. Every now and then, serious shit happens in the world. We're not gonna shy away from talking about that. We're fans of tons of shit. I love hip hop. I'm a hip hop artist myself. We like movies. We read.
We like sports.
We like sports.
I think we're real men's men.
I look. You know what to say? He'd be a fun guy to have a beer with. I think we're one of those.
I think we're one of those.
Think we're
In
one of
fact,
those.
we're having beers with each
Oh,
other
well-
as we do this
Well,
podcast.
I think
so
this day made it mandatory. And might I say, cheers.
Cheers to that. Did we also add that we are going to be corny as fuck?
Oh, we're super corny.
Yeah.
But you know what? Corny in the right places
Hmm.
is dope, if you will.
This is true.
Right.
Like every time you see that one corn in your poo, and you're just like, that's corn in the right place.
Right. I was not gonna go there. Let me take a sip of my beverage real quick.
I can, I
Fi-
can-
fi-
I
fill
can-
in the empty space, will you, Thomas? Thank you.
I
Go,
can-
go right
I-
ahead.
No, but I do see how that image would make you thirsty.
That's so wrong. If you were to do that to me. Okay, so that's out of the way. I think we have I think we've kind of explained why we wanted to.
Yeah.
What's the word? Embarge on this.
Embark.
Embark. There you go. So
You know
Thomas
what-
is
you know what
also
we did?
incidentally.
You know what we didn't touch upon?
Yeah.
The fact that we're immigrants. I mean, I'm sure
thank
people.
you. Thank you.
I think.
Thank you for bringing
I
that up.
think when we said that this is being, we're like broadcasting from Toronto.
Yeah.
I think when they heard one very heavy accent, they were like,
They
oh,
might have thought.
Yeah,
They might have thought.
They're like 50% of this could be immigrants
50% of this
or more.
might be like, hey, you can leave if you don't like it. If you don't like it, you can leave.
Go back home.
Yeah, whatever, Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
But I think that's why. And whenever we do have slip-ups with the English language,
that's
just let it be known it's because we are immigrants
Yeah.
and you cannot judge us.
English is our 17th language,
Exactly.
which is not actually
Which
the
is
case.
not true. We
Because
both were.
English is actually India's national language.
And I also grew up only speaking the English
Right.
language.
But you actually literally don't know any other language.
Yeah, well, I know Hindi, I know Marathi.
No, you know of these languages.
I know that Hindi
they
is a
exist.
language that
Yeah.
exists.
Yeah. No, I
I
actually.
try my hand at it
Right.
every now and then.
Yeah.
Technically, I should speak Malayalam
Yeah, you should.
because like that's where I'm from.
See,
but
that is
I sold
embarrassing for
sold
you.
out, man.
No, yeah, because see, at least I know Punjabi.
But here's the thing though. You know Punjabi, but you speak in a Canadian accent. So
So-
who's the bigger sellout?
I don't speak Punjabi in a Canadian accent.
Yeah, that's true. But you do speak Punjabi. So like I think that gives you some brownie points.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
know
go
what
fuck
my claim to
yourself.
fame is?
Yeah.
I have a 9.0, like a full score on my IELTS exam.
I had an 8.
Oh,
Go fuck yourself.
8.
All right. I think it might have been 8 and a half.
I
Might have
think
been 8 and a half.
I think the half was when you said embarge.
But yeah. Yeah, it might have been that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, but you know what? I think I decided to like just double down on speaking English. I did speak Hindi, Marathi, and Malayalam when I was younger, and people often,
But you had foresight.
yeah, I knew that the whites would rule.
Yeah, you're like, we're not gonna need these.
Yes,
shits.
like, these languages
Yeah.
will not.
Yeah.
They're not gonna survive. No, but no, it's not even just that. I feel like I just like I say it's that. I say it's like, oh man, like I kind of had the foresight and shit, but it's not that, man. People like
It just
fucking made a
happened,
lot
right?
of fun of like my Malayalam accent and
Oh,
my
so you
Hindi,
just like
and I
you
was
just
just like,
gave
fuck
up.
it, yeah.
It's
It's insecurities. That's
and
basically what it
laziness,
is. Yeah,
insecurity and
yeah,
laziness.
mainly that.
But let's talk a little more about us being immigrants, because I think that's. I'm glad you brought it up because I think what we have realized is that through the years living here, because we're immigrants, we also have, perspectives on things that people might not. And I think that might be interesting to whoever is potentially going to listen to this as well, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, like there is the well, there is just the immigrant experience, right? You come here, you kind of have to start over.
Exactly.
And I know, like at least in my case, and I'm sure even in your case, you had a very different experience. You had very different expectations at the very least coming in. Like for me, I know my whole expectation was this is gonna be American Pie. It's basically I'm gonna come
Ah,
here. I'm gonna like party with
ah,
white bitches,
that's so
but
amazing. Which
like
did
but
happen.
a bit.
Maybe me, really. Maybe me more than you, because I actually ventured
But
out
we
there.
didn't have like there weren't like crazy fucking like keggers and this and like
You remember that one time you came to Barry?
in Barry, but how many? That was like 5 times that happened. Like that's it, man.
We used to do
How
that
many
shit.
times does that happen now?
Dude, that not now, but
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
exactly. That's what I'm
I've done
saying.
like okay. So what I was gonna say is, look, I'll keep it real. You come here and you see all those dumbass movies, and they sell you all that bullshit, and it's not like that, right? Like, life takes you and fucking power slams you so hard when you
For
know
sure.
you're an immigrant, and I think that's something that I don't think people appreciate.
Hmm.
This constant subconscious struggle that you always know you're always going to have, till you make it, whatever that making it is,
Yeah.
right? So it's always there and you always feel it. But, through all of that struggle and shit, I would say there were
Yeah.
times when I was knee deep in some white pussy. That was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some pretty good ones too.
But I think like what I kind of appreciate the most out of like this entire thing is, at least I know like the both of us,
Yeah.
even when we were in India, we kind of grew up so much on like, well, I guess like just
Western
Western,
culture.
yeah, Western culture
And media and
yeah,
entertainment, right? Yeah.
and so much of that was so just, I guess, like Caucasian driven, right?
Not
So
me.
I know, like for you, it was still like a little bit more of like, I mean, of course, but
Black.
like, I mean, yeah, like this considers like hip hop and stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of like say like TV shows and this,
Oh,
it's
for
all
sure.
like, yeah, it's
For
actually
sure.
a lot of that was right. So there's almost like this kind of, and this is mainly like just more for me. I'm
No,
not
no.
sure like it's about you, but there's almost like this kind of like idolizing where you're just like, oh shit, like you kind of like hold white people up to like it's just like you put them on a pedestal kind of a thing, and it's just like, oh man, like that shit is so cool, man. Like I can't wait to see how this like will be in Canada. But I think what the immigrant experience has taught me is that, man, like we're fucking dope ourselves, man.
Oh yeah.
Like so in this whole thing of like like the struggle, I feel was also like this need to kind of integrate, and I don't think like that's what needs to happen. I really felt the need of like you have to be a part of like their culture. You go to like another place, you need to fit in. But I don't think so anymore, man. I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of places, if it's open, if you have like an open society, you don't need to like fit in, but you can really just be yourself and kind of have your own place over there and will
Right.
be equally respected.
Yeah, like it's in. I'm glad you brought it up because, like, I'll be honest with you, I never had that thing. Like, I never put white people up like that. Like, I might have put black people up there like that
Hmm.
personally. Like for me,
Hmm.
so like when I came here, and maybe that's why I immediately when I came in, like that part of it wasn't the part that I was uncomfortable with at all. Like, oh, let's see, what it's like interacting with the whites. Never, like that was never an issue for me. Um, what might have been an issue for me was, I think, just what was that last part that you talked about? I had like an
Just like integrating and stuff like
right,
that.
that
Like,
integrating stuff. I always thought, mm, eh, and I'm not sure, but I think I might have thought that like you have to be a certain way. You have to do. I think it's more like your thinking and your views and stuff. You might have to change slightly to adjust here.
hmm.
And I realized like you don't really have to.
Yeah.
Like beyond being accepting and open to stuff, right? You can really like, yeah, why not? Why would I not? I think one thing that the more I live here, I realize is I want to be proud of my culture and my
Yeah,
tradition.
for
I
sure.
think that's one thing that maybe I was guilty of slightly in the beginning.
Absolutely. Same
Like,
here.
like, oh no, I shouldn't like wear my Indianness too proudly.
Hmm.
And now I'm like, nah, fuck that shit.
Exactly.
Like we come from a fascinating
Yeah.
tradition.
Yeah, man. But do you feel like when you came here, did you try to like often like play it safe? You know, like just like, hey, man, don't say anything too Indian. Don't like keep bringing up stuff from your Indian past. Like try and keep it like very general. Keep it PC.
You know what the issue was for me? I never went outside of Gurgaon too much. So like that whole Indian shit for me, like I had created in India a bubble for myself. I would really live in Gurgaon. I had like my ghetto friends, like my more gutter street friends, but I also knew like really like rich bougie people.
Hmm.
And so like I was exposed to a lot of like Western shit in many ways, and like we would go to our little. It was weird. Like now that I think of it, like Gurgaon, I think has become very different from when I grew up. It was like this small, really like Western town back then. We had like this little country club we used to go to. We used to go
Oh,
swimming.
that's
I
fucking
know it's
like.
bougie as fuck, but like I'm just telling you. And then like the only thing that was like ghetto for me was like when we used to go to like or I say apart from my ghetto friends, the only other ghetto thing was like when we used to go to my village in Punjab,
Hmm.
and like I used to meet my like really poor family that I'm actually from.
Yeah.
Like that was like my only, and it was Punjabi as hell. So like I always thought like it wasn't an Indian thing. Punjabi culture, yes,
Yeah.
I knew of. I didn't know what being Indian. I don't think I've ever, even when I was in India, identified as being Indian.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what? That's interesting, man. Because I don't think a lot of people can. I think
Mhm.
it's such a diverse kind of like place, and like the experience in every
Right.
little pocket, like not, and I don't even want to say states, man. Like
Yeah.
even within the same city, like you just said, right? Like you had like your ghetto friends, you had
Yeah.
your bougie friends, and that's literally you like in like right in the middle, but you had like kind of access to like all of that.
Yeah.
And it is the same for me, man. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know, like you
Because
you
they were
have
like
you have
Marathi, right? Like
yeah, it's
it's like
you have just like so many different pockets within the
yeah.
entire country. Nobody and it's so extreme like
Yeah.
within the country.
We-
Like so I don't think you can identify as like
right.
oh man, like universally as a country we can all believe in this one thing. It's too much.
Yeah, which is why like that's why I kind of said like because maybe I was so solidly in that pocket. Like I never thought like oh I'd ever appear or like oh I can say something that's a little too Indian or some shit
Hmm.
because I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah. Was your dad did he move from your village in Punjab to come to Gurgaon, or
Yeah.
was he born and raised in Gurgaon
No,
too?
no, no. He came from my
So
yeah.
so in a sense he was kind of like an immigrant as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's actually fascinating that you say that. I don't know how much time we have, but like I'll quickly tell you. That's one of the reasons why he was kind of scared of letting me come here, because he knew like how much he struggled.
Hmm.
when he moved out of home and went somewhere else to build a life for himself.
Yeah.
He like, cause I'm his son, he was like, I don't know, like if I want him to go through that,
It's not all that kind of a thing.
or I don't want him to have to go through that
The same.
struggle,
Oh, yeah.
cause like he struggled, like you know, a lot of people say, you know, they came from poverty. My dad came from like actual poverty, like those people that you see in those commercials that are like, oh man, these people might not get 2 meals a day type of shit. Like
Hmm.
that is what he. I mean, my grandfather was like a peon, which is like a servant.
Hmm.
Like, you know, he used to get people tea and coffee and run errands and get their envelopes when he wasn't working on his like little farm.
Hmm.
You know, so he came from that, and he like literally like when he got to Gurgaon, like what he had to do was like it was it. Like it was either make it or die.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Man, and that's I don't think any words could encapsulate the immigrant experience better
Exactly.
than make it or die.
What are you gonna do? And so that's why he was scared, and that's why like when I came here, I really had to convince him. And I wrote a verse about this actually
Oh,
one
yeah.
time. Yeah, like I can't remember the words exactly, but like it was something along those
Man,
lines.
it's for another podcast.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like
So then, what made you want to like come here?
I think we've talked about this. Like, I mean, if people are listening to this, people probably going, he says he's an immigrant. Doesn't sound like one. Yeah, it's because I never really fit in. I never felt like I belonged there. Like, you know, I love India. I love Punjab, and I love Gurgaon, and I love my culture, love my people. But I just never felt like I belonged there, you know. And I always knew that I wanted to, you know,
Yeah.
North America. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say Canada. No, I wanted to be here.
Yeah.
And I think, like, look, I always, like, from a young age, I always wanted to be a hip hop artist. You know what I mean? And I knew there was, I didn't, I tried it in India,
Hmm.
kind of worked. Again, we got tons of stories,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
but,
man. You know what? But I don't think I fucking ever told you this before. But I think even like the first time I met you when you came over to like Louisa, where where we were staying before, was just I realized like in like our first like conversations itself, I think we both had that thing in common where I don't feel like either of us kind of belonged in India.
right.
I think like a lot of our
That's
friends who have all
fascinating.
immigrated here, they kind of they came here for some sort of like economic prosperity or
Right.
like you know like for like a need to maybe travel and this.
Right.
But I think and I noticed like it's always been a thing even for me. And I think for me it was because like the not speaking Hindi, not speaking Marathi, not speaking Malayalam in fucking India,
Yeah.
just fucking speaking like English the entire time, and I don't like for whatever reasons. But I felt that little sense of like yeah, like a sense of unbelonging, and it's a little like you know sappy to fucking say this, but like in that moment, I remember like when we had that first interaction, I was like, "Fuck, I feel like this guy gets it, man."
Right.
Kind of a
No,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you
man.
you've never said that to me, but I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like it was like that for me always, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And now look at us, man.
Yeah, look at-
we're shacking it with each other.
No, ladies and gentlemen,
we
are.
will have sex after this.
That is that is not the case. We are both we are both heterosexual.
Completely platonic.
Yeah, exactly.
Too
Who knows? Well, you never know.
you never know.
Like, have you tried it?
Yeah.
Don't-
I just
listen,
winked. I
motherfucker.
just
Don't
winked.
ever look at me like that again, ever.
Because it's
I'll break your
arousing.
ankles.
Oh.
You know how important ankles are to a person?
To a soccer player, it's pretty
Well,
important, man.
See why I went straight to ankles?
Check out
Because
this
I
fucking
knew
soccer
I was
jersey,
like, I
man.
know he plays that sport.
See, if it was a cricket player, you'd be like, "I'll break your wrist," and I'd be like, "That's a
Exactly.
weird thing to break." Man. That's so specific.
right. Exactly. So we're at 25 minutes.
That's a bit long, dude.
Yeah, no, we're gonna wrap it up soon. Anything else? Anything outside of? Because I think we've done a good job of establishing who we are,
Yeah.
what this podcast is potentially going to be about. This was a little more. No, I think we kept it light for the most part as well.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so too. Yeah.
yeah. But we're gonna definitely bring a lot of levity to this. I always use the word levity. Levity means like
Yeah,
being
keeping
lighthearted, right?
it light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what
I
I
can
always.
say that as a 9.0 on my IELTS.
Right.
I am.
You are
I
such a
am the authority on English.
douchebag, dude.
Listen, man, this is the perks of speaking one language your entire life.
You have to know
So
that
I
one.
have to.
You're going through
Every-
dictionaries and shit, looking at
Yeah,
all
yeah,
words.
it's what I do in my spare time.
That's
You
hilarious.
make hip hop, I read the
Right.
dictionary.
Yeah. You got like all the Oxford shits.
Yeah, all of them.
That's it. No, but like anything else, anything at all, like anything fun that happened to you today or like recently, like just like I don't know. I think that we like might want to leave them on a.
No, man. Like, I mean, like, yeah, there is like fun shit that's happened. Like, and I think like just I was at my uncle's place and we kind of just went back, like down memory lane. Just had like this little like nostalgia trip where we are.
That's
talking about,
everyone's
like,
favorite lane.
Yeah, but like it was just like talking about like our family and
Right,
stuff
right,
like that. But it's just so we were talking about one of our great grandfathers. And he was like a jester slash like entertainer in the emperor's court for like the Raja of Travancore. Yeah, and it was so cool, man. Like, and I took like a picture of like the sketch that was made from him, and my uncle still has this like thing preserved from like way back in the day, where written on palm paper
Yeah.
is literally in Malayalam his rhymes.
That's
Oh man, like I'll show you. Yeah, like it was so fucking cool to see, and it's literally not even on paper because they didn't even have paper at that point of time. It was literally just like palm and stuff, and his thing is written
right.
down on this little like scroll type of thing that kind of opens up.
Yeah.
It was like really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I think, and all of us were just talking about that, like through all these different generations, like my granddad, my dad, my uncle, me, my brother, and we were just talking about like like how we all we all have a voice, right?
Right.
And it's like I think in whatever way, man, maybe your fucking audience isn't the Raja of Travancore or like but we all have an audience. There's someone that kind of wants to listen to what you have to
That's
say.
fascinating.
So yeah, man.
Well, I mean, when my dad was here recently, we had a conversation. Dude, you know what we had a conversation about?
What?
Oh, finally, our family has a little bit of money. That's nice. We don't have to be crooks and shit anymore. Because that's all it was. Like, that's the other thing my grandfather was, by the way. If y'all were wondering. Dude, one time, I remember, this was years ago, I might have been 16 or 17, and this old dude came to our house, and my dad was like, yo, this was a very important figure in my life, man. It's very important. I was like, cool. And then, yeah, at 16, 17, I was drinking with my dad, so we would just sit around and drink. Actually, I might have been older, might have been 18 or 19. And, see, because my dad was the square of the family. Like, he was like the good kid, the good, like, everyone else was just like not doing a lot. You know what I mean? And my dad would never tell me these things. I would always hear these things from other family members about like the crimes. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know about any crimes.
My dad
I
would
doing my homework.
never like my dad was like the nice guy, right? It was the old fella. Like he started telling me about what him and my grandfather used to do together. Go fuck motherfuckers up. And I was like, I looked at my dad like, you should have told me this shit. This is fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that's what my parents like dude, like you're talking about great grandfather. I asked my parents one time. I was like, dude, where like who was our
Yeah,
he was like
where do we come
I was
from?
like nobody knows.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's like they were fucking a lot back in the day.
Dude, I'm telling you, like the amount of crooks I know in my family is beyond like amazing to me.
Man.
That's why like I was so sheltered. I think it's because of that. Like everybody made sure like I didn't do anything. You know,
Look at you now.
look at me now,
Common.
crooking it up. No, this has been fun, man. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, same, man. So it's a good thing we didn't procrastinate too much.
Oh, fucking finally. And I'm gonna edit this, and then I'm gonna send the shit to you, and then you're gonna put it out there.
Put it out onto the interwebs.
Interwebs, that's right. And yeah, so to all the 4 people listening, come back. We're probably gonna do episode 2.
We need you.
We need you and your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Yes, this is a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, exactly. I
We
mean, these
need
shits.
you, yeah.
That's how they
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
Like, if you
we
like
need
it,
you to bring a friend
tell your
in.
friend.
Exactly.
Like, you can all enjoy this shit together.
Exactly.
Especially
we'll have a little shared experience.
Yeah.
Because I think the whole point of something like this is to like build like a little bit of a community, right? And it's not just gonna be us talking like every single time. Like
Right.
I think like what we want to do in the future is just to bring people in, hear different stories.
we
too,
have a
so
vision for
yeah,
this.
man.
That's what people need to know. We have a vision for this. This is not just something that we wanted to do because everyone's doing a podcast. No, we have a vision for this, and we want to make this bigger and better and do other things outside of just speaking in the microphones as well. So hopefully it can work. And this could be for anyone. You don't have to be a brown immigrant from India to listen to this shit. You could be the son of brown immigrants from India to listen to this shit. You could be a white person that's just kind of curious about different cultures and listen to this shit.
In which case, good for you.
Yes. A person who is open-minded slightly. And you could be a white immigrant from another country and you could listen to this shit. You could be a black immigrant from another country to this shit. You could be a black person in general and listen to this. Because you know what? We got a lot in common.
This is true.
Yeah. White people hate us the same way they hate you. No, but for real, we want to continue to do this. Please listen to it. We'll figure out where we're going to be putting these things on and stuff. But I
We'll
want
try and do this every week.
We're going to try and do this every week. I just want to end on one last thing. I know because you like Lil Wayne.
Oh, I fucking love Lil Wayne.
Do you know Lil Wayne has a lyric? I forget how the whole thing goes, but he goes, R.I.P. rest in pussy.
I feel like that's an odd way to end this.
I just had to because I know you enjoy Lil Wayne. So no, I'm just saying to everyone out there, R.I.P. doesn't mean go die. It means rest in pussy.
Exactly.
What's more fun than resting in pussy? All right. Okay, ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
been cool, man.
It's been nice. Me and my good friend Thomas. And again, I am Rupam, and we are the dopest.
The dopest
Generation. Wow. Oh, I see what you were trying to do. But we fucked it up as like we always do.
We'll learn. We'll get
Yeah.
better.
Okay. All right. Later.
Out, man.
Peace.